Even though Call of Duty was basically nowhere to be found at E3, they still managed to somehow piss off a ton of fans, so let's get right into it for the Call of Duty news of the week. The first bombshell came out yesterday when Activision innocently enough tweeted about the several different special editions of Black Ops 4, which you already knew came with tons of useless beepity-bops like patches and art cards that you're gonna have to put away whenever you have a girl over. Oh, who am I kidding? Like you're ever gonna have a girl over your place. As you climb higher in price, you also get more COD points, so yay for microtransactions again in a full price, but it really shouldn't be full price based on the content that's actually in the game. But people noticed something else with the anything but the standard edition, the Black Ops Pass, which is just an attempt to fool idiots into thinking that the season pass is gone, but by renaming it, it actually doesn't make it go away. I'm here to say I told you so. All those idiotic rumors that started because Call of Duty wasn't pimping out the DLC season pass straight away when revealed that actually doesn't give you access to all of the DLC somehow, meant that maybe Call of Duty would follow in Battlefield's footsteps and not segregate the community in order to make some extra coin. Just because something isn't said doesn't mean that it isn't going to happen, because Activision is spelt with a $ and they love using outdated pricing models. Anyways, the rationale for calling it a Black Ops Pass instead of a Season Pass, besides trying to obfuscate the fact that you're using a DLC model that doesn't belong anywhere near the year 2018, is because unlike 7 of the past 8 Call of Duty games that do the song and dance of the 4 map packs spread out every few months, much like they do for their core gameplay functionality, they decided to look at how other games are constantly updating more often and thinking it's better to just drip feed 4 zombies experiences, 12 multiplayer maps, which by the way is actually 4 less than the usual 16 that are offered, 4 blackout characters, and a launch zombies map over the course of the year without the larger drops. Call of Duty has already done this though with that outlier that I mentioned previously. Modern Warfare 3 had a quote season of content where they did the exact same thing with the DLC schedule, yet it was still called a season pass because they weren't trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the sheeple that continue this instant gratification cash grab for not making the game stale. The problem with this rationality is the reason why other games like Fortnite, PUBG, Halo 5, Titanfall 2, etc. were praised for their drip feeding of new content into the game to keep it fresh was because the DLC was free and not locked behind RNG boxes like in the case of the new shit that we get in Call of Duty that's in supply drops only unless they're generous enough to rig a community event for them. I wonder if now these previously free events that happen throughout the lifecycle of Call of Duty will now be locked behind a paywall instead. Isn't it funny that as other FPS games like Battlefield 5 and Titanfall 2 and Halo 5 have abandoned the paid map DLC season pass bullshit, that the only games that are still embracing them are Call of Duty and Destiny? I wonder what they have in common. Speaking of maps, there was a Treyarch developer stream that happened before E3 started that, of course, had the usual audio issues, but at least this time they were just volume discrepancies. Seriously, stop typing in the chat to turn up volume and just take out your fucking hearing aid, Grandpa, or for God's sake, turn up your own fucking speakers, you dumb shits. Anyways, in a total waste of 45 minutes of my life that I'll never get back, we learned that 5 old maps, Jungle, Slums, Firing Range, and Summit, both for the 3rd time at launch, and Nuketown for the 5th time after launch, but returning to the Cold War-esque theme, will be available in Black Ops 4. This combined with the 4 maps that we've already seen in Contraband that basically looks like Hunted and Cove combined, Seaside, a Spanish coastal town vibe, the obligatory snow map payload at an ICBM facility, and the new for E3 map Frequency that remarkably resembles the Summit remake Uplink, considering that they're both satellite facilities in Southeast Asia, as if we run out of combinations of locations and settings for Call of Duty maps. So out of the supposed 17 leak maps that we've seen on Reddit in this image, only the 3 original reveal maps, Nuketown because that wasn't fucking obvious or anything, and Firing Range since that one was already reimagined in Black Ops 2 are on that list. The brand new Frequency map and those other remakes are absent from this list, so we can pretty much go ahead and call bullshit on this leak that only got just over half of the 9 confirmed maps correct, and Nuketown is a fucking layup. The only other piece of 411 to come out of that live stream besides terrible rationalizations for bad design decisions like manual health regen is that there were tons of PC stations for E3 to make it seem like as if they actually give a shit about the platform, as well as it being playable at the CWL Anaheim event this upcoming weekend, and there are infinite prestige levels.
That journey that they take from the beginning of playing the game all the way to you know, their infinite number of levels they might earn through the game.
So, unlike what Battlefield is doing with the Season Pass and what Call of Duty has decided to do, Black Ops 4 is actually taking a page out of Battlefield's book now for hyping up the new game by putting shit in the current game, Black Ops 3. A patch was released to confirm that the leaked DLC 6 was actually a thing, as the Back in Black map pack, including the remasters of the 4 aforementioned old maps, Jungle Slums, Firing Range, and Summit. There's just one catch. You have to pre-order Black Ops 4 in order to get access to these new, and by new I mean slightly touched up but not at all reskinned maps, but this is only available to PlayStation players who order the new Call of Duty game Black Ops 4 through the PlayStation Store digitally. That's right, so if you're on Xbox, PC, or already pre-ordered the game through another source other than the Sony Store, you're shit out of luck. That's so Activision though, forcing people to throw down on an already overpriced $60 for a game that has removed core features in order to chase trends, to get access to maps that aren't new at fucking all. At least you could cancel digital pre-orders on the PlayStation Store, but this is yet a new way into locking people into funding their upcoming project, even though there are so many goddamn pre-order incentives, including actually getting to play the fucking beta, I mean demo, early, so that shit like this shouldn't be locked behind a fucking paywall. And of course they'll continue to pull shit like this if people let them, so save me the crocodile tears, you hypocritical YouTubers that bitch about this practice and then turn around the very next fucking upload and have some goddamn gameplay with these new maps in them instead of what I'm doing, which is using old Black Ops 2 footage and not buying the fucking shit. Oh, and if that wasn't bad enough, the patch also adds 2 new game modes, and by new I mean one mode that was standard in previous Black Ops titles, yet noticeably absent from Black Ops 3 with Sticks and Stones, and Snipers Only, which is only new to Treyarch since it's been in both Advanced Warfare and World War II. Oh, and the shit icing on top of the fucked cake is that there are also 2 new weapons locked inside RNG boxes. The Dragoon Sniper Rifle, which sounds like something you'd order as an appetizer at P.F. Chang's, and the M14, which is actually only available in rare supply drops for a limited time. Are you fucking shitting me, Treyarch? This makes the franchise's worst weapon DLC model somehow even worse by yanking things out of the loot pool after a certain time in order to force players to spend money on them because there aren't enough hours in the goddamn day to grind for crypto keys to try and earn the shit legit. Between this and the Black Ops Pass fiasco, it's no wonder why Red is in full Scorch Earth mode, really living up to the Operation Heatwave name for this soon-to-be monetized in the next game event. The only silver lining in this fucked up situation is that Black Ops 3 in its entirety is free to download from June 11th to July 11th, and that's better than Battlefield way of giving away its DLCs, but at least Battlefield does it for all platforms, and not just for Sony, who's spending money on exclusivity deals like a drunken sailor coming into port. And we didn't need to wait to the Nintendo conference to confirm that there is no Call of Duty for the Switch this year, so it still remains to be seen as to why players can link their Nintendo accounts to their Call of Duty account. I don't really give a shit about zombies, but if you do, I think that Blundell is going to be doing some sort of E3 presentation about the history of zombies today, but I have no idea if it's going to get streamed, or if, like Lord Daddy Vaughn's chat on Sunday, it'll be pushed out in favor of other depictions of corporate mouthpieces self-filleting one another in a giant circle jerk marketing ploy that masquerades as being a gaming convention. I've been the Schwans27, out like Vegas and Cleveland. Until next time.
What the fans, what the kids say, wall banging, you could wall bang in that map very well.